welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are back. Now, I don't know if I'm getting carried away here, but I genuinely believe that Youri Tielemans is going to change Manchester United's midfield. Now, I know what you're all thinking. We've only seen him for a relatively small amount of time in a United shirt. We've had a 1-1 draw against PSG, a 1-1 draw against Leeds, and it's only pre-season. So maybe I am getting ahead of myself. But there are already things I'm seeing that I absolutely love. And when you combine what I've seen from Tielemans in his first few appearances with what he produced for Aston Villa last season, I honestly think that Manchester United might have just signed exactly the type of midfielder they've been missing. And I am going to explain why. So let's just start with the obvious. Youri Tielemans isn't coming to Manchester United to be the guy who just runs around making 15 tackles a game. That's just not his game. He is a footballer. He wants the ball, he wants to dictate play, he wants to receive it under pressure, turn and find the pass that takes the opposition out of the game. And that is something Manchester United have desperately needed. Because how many times have we watched United struggle to progress the ball through midfield? How many times have we seen Bruno Fernandes just dropping deeper and deeper to get involved? And how many times have we watched possession become predictable? So that is where Tielemans can change things. And the numbers from his 2025-26 Premier League season at Aston Villa were genuinely exciting. Tielemans played 1,862 minutes in the league and finished with 4 assists. But the numbers that I really want you to look at are his passing numbers. Because Tielemans completed 338 passes and bypassed 4 or more opponents last season. Only Bruno Fernandes and Elliot completed more. So think about that. Bruno Fernandes was one of the only 2 Premier League players who did this more often than Tielemans. And per 90, Tielemans averaged 8.9 line breaking passes, 3.5 progressive passes, 4.4 passes into the opposition box, and 1.6 chances created. The Premier League itself highlighted him as one of the standout midfielders in these areas. So that's not just passing for the sake of passing. That is moving a team forwards. And that is exactly what I want to see at Manchester United. Now let's talk about PSG. Tielemans made his Manchester United debut against PSG in a game that finished 1-1. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that 30-ish minutes of pre-season football suddenly proves everything. It doesn't. I'm a United fan. I don't need to pretend that every new signing is world class just after one appearance. But what I did like was seeing Tielemans introduced into a midfield alongside Bruno Fernandes, because that's where this gets really interesting. Tielemans doesn't necessarily need Bruno to come looking for the ball anymore. He can help bring the ball to Bruno, and that is just a massive difference. Tielemans has already said that Carrick wants his midfielders to have freedom, while also organising the team and maintaining defensive stability. He described adapting to Carrick's ideas is coming naturally to him. And that tells me this isn't simply a case of, here's Tielemans, go and play football. There is a structure, there is a plan. And Tielemans looks like a player who understands exactly what Carrick is asking of him. Then came Leeds. United drew 1-1 at Croke Park before winning the shootout 5-4. Again, Tielemans was introduced into the second half alongside Bruno Fernandes, as Carrick made a number of changes. And again, I'm not going to overanalyze a pre-season cameo, but there is something that I keep coming back to: the profile. Tielemans gives United another midfielder who can receive the ball and make something happen with it. He can play the simple pass, he can switch play, he can play through the line, he can find players between the opposition midfield and defence, and he can move higher up the pitch and become a creative player himself. That's versatility. And I think that versatility is going to be absolutely massive for Carrick. But here is my biggest reason for believing that Tielemans can completely transform Manchester United's midfield: Bruno Fernandes. I think that Tielemans could actually make Bruno even better, because we have seen Bruno having to do absolutely everything. Create, drop deep, progress the ball, press, shoot, take risks. Sometimes it feels like if Bruno doesn't make something happen, well then United don't make anything happen. Imagine Tielemans taking more responsibility for progressing possession. Imagine Tielemans receiving the ball from centre-backs, turning, breaking the line, finding Bruno higher up the pitch. Suddenly Bruno doesn't have to spend too much time looking for the ball. Suddenly he's closer to the opposition box. Suddenly he's receiving possession in the areas where we actually want Bruno Fernandes. And that could be huge. And this is why I'm going all in on this. I don't think Tielemans is going to transform United because he's going to score 20 goals. I don't think he's going to suddenly become the best defensive midfielder in England. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that he changes the way the midfield functions. He gives United control, gives United progression, he gives United another player capable of creating chances, and most importantly, he gives Bruno more freedom. The Premier League's data backs up that creative and progressive profile. Tielemans averaged 54.6 passes per 90 with 84.9% accuracy, while his team had 54.6 possession while he was on pitch. And when you compare him with United's midfield options from last season, well, his profile just jumps out. More passes into the box, more chances created, more big chances created, more progressive passing. That's exactly why I think this signing could be so important. So maybe I am getting a little bit carried away. Maybe I am going to look back at this video in 6 months and think, what was I talking about? But honestly, I don't think I am. I do think that Youri Tielemans is going to be massive for Manchester United. We've only had a glimpse so far against PSG and Leeds, just a handful of minutes. When you combine those glimpses with what he produced at Aston Villa last season, well then I'm incredibly excited. Because I don't think United have just signed another midfielder. I think we have signed a player who can change the way our midfield plays. And if Tielemans can give Bruno Fernandes more freedom, if he can give United more control, if he can consistently break the lines, then I genuinely believe Youri Tielemans is going to transform Manchester United's midfield. So let me know what you think, guys. Am I getting carried away? Or have United finally found the midfielder that we've been missing? But yeah, go on United! But yeah, we have come to the end of another video, guys. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did. If you got to the end of this video, then you are the best. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Now, if you're new here, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And please make sure you follow all of my social media, guys. Yeah, see you in my next video.